Here we are, everybody. The D-Day. At long last, the day of the decisive battle had dawned. The time was 6:30 a.m. After a night of sound, indulgent sleep, Michiru woke to the smell of miso soup wafting gently through the air. When she peered out the window through half-opened eyes, she saw Makina standing at attention with her fists pressed to her thighs, looking up at a big catch banner that was flying from the prow of the boat. Sachi was standing some distance behind her by a long table with a white tablecloth. It held small cups of water. She'd apparently set up a traditional departure for a battle ceremony. Of course, today was that day, wasn't it? They were finally going to carry out the operation. Still rather dazed, Michiru looked around her, trying to help her sluggish mind make sense of things. Her eyes found Yumiko, already sitting in front of her PC and carefully monitoring every new development. Amane was a little further in their aft. Her back was turned, but it looked like she was busy making breakfast. Last night, Michiru had seen her descending some sashimi clams Sachi had harvested, so those would probably be on the menu this morning. Oh man, guess I'm the last one up again. Sitting up in her cot with her sleeping bag still wrapped around her, Michiru gazed drowsily at her friends for a moment, then reluctantly began to emerge from her cocoon.
Chiru, ohayo nano yo sa. Ohayo. Kyou wa kessen no asa nano yo. Shikkari shiro shi. Kao waratte oide.
As she transferred the freshly cooked rice from their iron pot to a serving container, Amane called out loudly to the others. Responding with alacrity, Makani and Sachi proceeded to carry the main dish, sides, and miso soup to the boat's dining table. As they worked, Yumiko was filling everyone's individual bowls with rice from the serving container. And once Michiru returned from washing her face, she headed over to the kitchen area to help Amane rinse and clean the things she'd used while cooking. I really need to pad this game out, so... They'd only been living on this boat together for a little while, but without even realizing it, they divided up these daily tasks between them. Eventually, once everyone had gathered around the table, a cheerful "Shall we eat?" or "Itidakimasu" from Sachi marked the beginning of the meal. It wasn't like they brought into Amane's stance on raising your blood sugar levels slowly, but for some reason everyone started off by reaching for the salad. And as they began to eat, Yumiko looked around the table and cleared her throat. Nice.
すべての準備が終わったら、自転車からリヤカーを外して、身軽な状態で狙撃着弾点及び周辺環境の調査を実施、狙撃の準備を進める。17時までにはホテルに戻り、指示を待つ。そんな感じ？
そういうこと。ホテルの部屋は51階のスイートをもうネットで予約してあるわ。あなたのお母様の名前で。
That's probably smart. Probably just made up a name at that point, right?
なんでお母さんの名前にした？
面倒なことの後始末は全部あなたのお母様になすりつけてしまおうかと思って。
Good thinking.
ほら、あなたのお母様、今は何かとスキャンダルに敏感だし、現場にいろいろな証拠が残っていても、イリスの名前が表に出ることを嫌えば勝手に裏からもみ消してくれるかなって。 ついでに関係各省からのいろいろな追及とか追加で請求されるであろう莫大な賠償金も全部あなたのお母様にドバッと引っかぶっていただこうかと。
Yeah, but that all could be traced back to Machina herself. I don't know if that was a smart idea.
やるな、ユミちゃん。俺、お前のそういうねちっこくて陰湿なやり口嫌いじゃねえのよ。いいぞ、面白くなってきた。
陰湿云々のくだりは引っかかるけれど、まあいいわ。次は小峰さん。
はい。
強襲突撃要員である小峰さんは、まずは突撃装具の点検、補充不足があれば追加を用意、荷物が多くなるようであればエゾシマリス作戦で対応すること。
Project Chipmunk。
わかりました。後ほどホームセンターでプラスチックコンテナと物資を購入しておきます。
それが終わったら事前に現場を入念に下見しておいて。おそらくは想定外の事態も起きると思うから、刻々と変化する状況に即時対応可能な体制のまま指定場所で18時まで待機。
了解です。
スオーさんと松島さんはまずはタナトスさんが用意してくれた逃走用車両の受け取りに行ってきて。場所は分かってる？
うん。板橋のショッピングセンターの立体駐車場5階の12番に置いてあるんだよね。場所は地図で確認してあるよ。
ねえ、やっぱ私どうしても車に乗らなきゃダメ。なんかもうすっかりトラウマで、車に乗れって言われただけで膝がガクガクするし、ドロッとした汗が全身からダラダラ吹き出してくるんだけど。
大丈夫だって。ほら、この前だってちゃんと安全運転してたじゃん。ミラー畳んだまま走ってるおばちゃん車よりずっと安全だってば。
それに松島さんにはタナトスさんが偽の申請書を発行して手配した風見雄二の個人装備を3桁ナンバーの工作員から受け取る仕事があるのよ。
それって私じゃないとダメな仕事？
そうね。なぜだか知らないけど対面交渉的な顔を合わせての取引ってなるとあなたにやらせた方がうまくいくのよね。やっぱりパッと見のバカっぽい顔の印象と会話を始めて10秒でわかる気の毒なほどのアホっぷりが交渉相手の心にゆとりを生むのかしら。
Wow。
ひどい言われよ。
まあとにかく車と風見くんの装備を受け取ったら、その後2人は合流して18時の作戦開始まで指定の場所で車内待機。
わかったわよ。
まあ大体のことはチャートに書いてあるから、その通りに行動すればきっとうまくいくわ。
それでボッチさんは？
ぼっち言うな。私はこの船に乗って作戦の総指揮をします。作戦の進行状況はタナトスシステムを経由してほぼリアルタイムで観測可能だし、状況に応じて逐一私から指示が出るから、タナトスフォンの電源は切らないように。
You know, this whole operation is basically the culmination of like all the games, right? You know, the girls have been feeling powerless, you know, all these times to solve their own problems, and now they're gonna band together to, you know, to fight their own country, so to speak.
もし私との通信が途絶するような事態になったとしても、ここへは戻ってこないこと。今日この後午前8時の作戦開始と同時にこの船は移動を開始します。ここへ来ても私も船も存在しないので、そのつもりで。
船の操縦はどうするの？
タナトスさんが操縦してくれるわ。そのための衛星ナビシステムなんだし。私はこの船で指揮を出しつつ移動して所定の場所で待機。風見くんを奪還したあなたたちと合流して回収。あとはそのまま水上を逃走って形になるわ。
うん、分かった。みんなも自分のやることは分かった？
Someone is clearly not excited for her job duties.
あまねご飯おかわりちょうだい。お茶碗半分で。
はいよ。こんぐらい？
あんがとう。
マキちゃん、おじゃこあるよ。おじゃこ。
Ugh.
あ、いいな。私もそれ欲しい。
Sardines are
ご飯
nasty.
おかわり。
Right.
生卵も。
Ugh. How do these people not die from diseases?
本当に分かってるのかしら。
榊さんは？だからご飯のおかわり。真っ白いご飯におじゃこさん。おいしいおすえ。
いただきます。
I would really like if you had some more rice. Oh, that me? That's probably me.
タナトスさんかな。
Moshi moshi.
おはようございます。タナトスです。
おはよう、チャーリー。
Charlie.
誰がチャーリーよ。
あれ、ジムの方？ヘルペス君？
それを言うならフェルプスでしょ。まあいいわ。
I'm not sure I get that reference.
和やかな
Doesn't
朝
matter.
食中に失礼かとも思ったのだけれど、榊由美子が大切なことを伝え忘れているようだから、あえてインタラプトさせてもらいます。
そっか。
これからの作戦行動は各自別行動となります。各実動においては電話で通信を行うわけですが、それに伴い各自のコールサインを決めてください。
コールサイン？
要は限定された範囲でのみ通用する別名のことよ。でもタナトスフォンなら通信は傍受されないんじゃないの？その通り。でも電話を使用するときは喋るでしょ。声に出す以上はどこで誰に聞かれるかわからないし、うかつにも音声をマイクで拾われてしまえば筒抜けです。というわけで本日午前8時の作戦開始と同時に各自は決められた呼び出し名称を使うこと。
ほほう。コールサインというとマーベリックとかグースとかそんなやつな。
名前の付け方に特別なルールはないけれど、フォネティックコードと
I got
誤
it.
認しや
I
すい
know
名
what
前は
everyone's gonna
避
be
けるこ
called.
と。
Mature will be pigtails. Amane will be big boobs. She'll be shrimp. Sachi will be clean freak. And Yumika will be lonely girl.
各自が当人を認識しやすい名前にしておくといいわ。あまり突飛な名前をつけると、これ誰だっけってなるから。
ほんま、わかりやすい名前か。ほんじゃ、チルチルはうざツンデレか？
ちょっと、何よそれ。長くて呼びにくいじゃないのよ。つか、私うざくないし。
じゃあ、短くしてうざデレ？いやいや、さらに短く UT とするのはどうか。
私が UT なら、あんたは福田抜きね。たぬき顔だし、なんかおめでたい顔してるし。
福田抜きか。まあいい。確かに私は福田抜き。そのおめえ、甘んじて受け入れよう。
それじゃあ私はクソメイドということで。
No, 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 no. That's horrible.
自虐かさっちん。
メイド道とは死ぬまで続く修行の道。何年経とうが永遠に未熟者という自戒を忘れないためだよ。
まあ本人がそれでいいって言うならいいけどさ。
私は
あまねえはビッチでいいんじゃね？
Wow.
そのまんまだし、これ以上わかりやすいのはねえのよ。
I thought these people were friends.
待って、その流れでいくと私は。
ぼっち。
Oh, I called that one.
やっぱり予想通りすぎてヘドが出そう。
でもさ、ビッチとボッチって電話で聞き取るとき紛らわしくない？
では無駄ビッチとエバーボッチでどうでしょう。
Turbo slut.
エヴァーは嫌。お願いだからエヴァーはやめて。
面倒だからやっぱビッチとぼっちでいいじゃん。美浜ビッチぼっちって言うとなんか若手のお笑いコンビみたいでイカすのよさ。
Comedy duo.
まあ私はどっちでもいいけどさ。
Amani's like, I know what I am. At this stage, life and death are a matter of chance. When we pray to the heavens for survival, we leave ourselves in the hands of fate. I choose instead to empty my mind and charge toward my end. A chosen death, not a fated one. Should I fall in pursuit of a noble purpose, I shall perish without regrets. Irisu Machina. As the fated hour of 8 a.m. drew near, the public reading of Machina's traditional death poem concluded, and Sachi proceeded to push Yumiko up onto the wooden box that served as their platform. Oh my god, that was loud.
それでは間もなく作戦開始時間となりますが、各員出陣の前に基地司令たる榊参謀司令長官のありがたいお言葉を賜りたく存じます。
Ooh, this music playing.
ではどうぞ。
いや、急にそんなことを言われても。
聞くだけでみるみる繊維が高揚する魔法のお言葉をお願いします。
If you'd be so kind.
Wow.
Yumiko doesn't seem the speech type. Yumiko was severely tempted to explain that magic of that sort was generally referred to as brainwashing. But as she looked around at the faces of her comrades, she realized that this might be her final chance to express her gratitude to them. As that thought began to sink in, she could feel her hand growing sweaty on the handle of the megaphone Sachi had given her.
ただいまご紹介に預かりました榊由美子です。ここにお集まりの皆様は容易ならざる困難に対し座して待つことを良しとしなかった方たちです。そのことに関して皆様には感謝の言葉もございません。果たして私たちの進む先に巧妙があるとも断じきれない中、己が可能性を信じて立ち上がった皆さんの勇気に微力なれども良い結果を残したいと私は考えております。はっきりと申しましょう。私たちの進む道は戦場につながっています。賛美を極め多くの困難が待ち受けるであろう戦場でこの私に一体何ができるのかと、そんな風に応納しない日はありませんでした。ことここに至り私は一人の指揮官として各員の熱意をあたら無駄に散らせることなく、自分たちの行いに大義を見出さんとするよう努力する所存であります。やがては完遂されるであろう大義に燃える皆さんに少しでも明るい道先を示すのが私の仕事であり、
She's pretty good at this.
人生を圧し犠牲を顧みぬ戦場へ皆さんを送り込んだ私の責務であります。どうか今一度志を共に私にお力をお貸しください。
Drawing her remarks to a conclusion, Yumiko bowed her head to her audience. It had started sounding a bit like an election speech by the end there, but as off-of-the-cuff performances went, she wanted to believe she'd done a fairly good job.
ねえ、なんか難しい言葉ばっかりでよくわかんなかったんだけど。
要はこれからますますひどいことになるし、下手すりゃ死んじまうかもしれないけど、ここに集まったからにはおめえらの自己責任だから、作戦や指揮に問題があっても文句言うなよってこと。違う。
どの国の軍にあっても召喚の口にする訓示とはそういうものです。まあ身内に明確な矛先があった方が組織は動かしやすいって言うしね。
分かったわよ。そうやって私をいじめておけばいいじゃない。
No matter how small your organization might be, You always needed someone for everyone else to resent. She figured that much out by now. Eventually, the clock struck 8. The time for fun and games had officially come to a close. After exchanging a ceremonial drink of water, the Mahama Women's Corps departed for their various posts.
みんな、最後のお弁当を詰めたから、一人一つずつ持ってって。
弁当最高。おかずは
何？マキナのリクエスト通り、海苔巻きとサイダーだよ。は！なんか組み合わせおかしくない？なんで海苔巻きとサイダーなの？
海軍の航空糧食といえば海苔巻きとサイダーなのよ。
Really? That seems weird. Many years ago, fighter pilots apparently ate normaki for most of their in-flight meals, since the compact rolls were easy to hold with the single-gloved hand. Also, battleships typically had quite a few carbon dioxide fire extinguishers lying around. So a simple cider, easily made from sugar and CO2, was a popular beverage among Navy personnel. World War II era planes lacked sophisticated radar equipment, much less convenient GPS navigation. Navigating on long flights was therefore a tiresome task, and mid-flight meals played a crucial role in keeping the pilots energized and focused on their mission. Perhaps Machina felt some connection to these historical events. Perhaps she just had a hankering for sushi. Either way, everyone took their lunches and headed for their posts. Some had more to lose than others. Some were anxious, while others were excited. But as they left their base behind, they held the same lunches to their chests, and the same determination in their hearts. The Ritz-Carlton Hotel, Tokyo. It just so happened that Machina had stayed at one of these hotels before, although it hadn't been this particular location. Back when her father was still alive, her family had usually spent their summers on the beaches of Miami, and during those trips they'd always stayed at the local Ritz-Carlton. From what she remembered of that hotel, it had been notable for its unnervingly well-trained employees, whose remarkable attention to detail meant that all the little things you take for granted were always handled perfectly. Bringing her bicycle to a halt on the sidewalk outside, Machina detached the trailer that held her bag and towed it loudly across the lobby. And as she approached the front desk, she reached deep inside herself to call forth an innate talent that had supposedly been passed down through the Irae bloodline for generations. Namely, the ability to profoundly irritate people for no good reason at all. With a condescending, blatantly insincere smile of the sort that had become an Irae trademark, she called out to the man standing behind the gleaming counter.
やあ、ごきげんよう。スイーツを予約したイリスだが、部屋の用意はできているかね?
The receptionist found himself faced with a little girl whose round face somewhat resembled that of a cartoon chipmunk. She wasn't wearing or carrying anything that looked particularly expensive. In fact, her outfit looked like something you could buy from a cheap boutique of the kind typically found in large malls. In this particular hotel lobby, she stood out like a sore thumb. When you combined all of that with the fact that she'd barged up to the desk and demanded her broom, in an exceptionally haughty tone, well, 8 out of 10 people would have reacted the way the receptionist did.
どなたか保護者の方は？
あ？私を誰だと思っている？イリス・キヨカだぞ。こう見えても今年で38だぞ。それとも何か？ガキみたいなやつは客じゃないとでも言うつもりか？おいおいおいおい、言うぞだろ。天下のウィッツがまさかの人種差別か？
What the hell is this woman going on about? In a lobby where important people from many different countries regularly came and went, Machina was shouting out insults and accusations with all the vigor of someone trying to provoke an international incident. Understandably enough, the receptionist's face went deathly pale.
申し訳ございません、お客様。どうかお気を鎮めてください。
なんだと？このイリス・キヨカに大声を出させてるのは誰だ？
私でございます。申し訳ありません。
すぐに謝るぐらいなら最初から喧嘩を売るな。
Scowling furiously, Machina shoved her hand into her pocket and retrieved several neatly banded bundles of brand new banknotes. which she proceeded to slap down rudely on the counter in front of her.
ほれ、支払いは現金だ。多めに払ってやるから、余った金でマナースクールにでも通え、クズが。仕事をしろ、クビにするぞ。なめんな、清香なめんな、このビッチグソ野郎が。
The ranks of the wealthy included quite a number of extremely short-tempered individuals. Having learned as much from painful experience, the receptionist immediately thought of the little card he always carried with him, which described the proper mindset of a customer service professional. Think of yourself as an herbivore, and your customers as a hungry carnivore. As long as you keep that up, you'll never lose your temper with them. He'd been working this job for 3 years now. He knew how to heave quiet little sighs without his customers noticing. With a few taps on the keyboard hidden inside the front desk, he pulled up the reservation list. Sure enough, there was a luxury suite reserved in the name of Irisu Kiyoka, and a blinking red light indicated that she was a VIP client.
イリス様、大変お待たせいたしました。ただいまお部屋へご案内させていただきます。
You know, another thing that I realized is that's her mom, right? I mean, isn't she pretty well known in like the business world? You'd think that you'd be like, wait, she's not her.
うむ、清香苦しゅうないぞよ。
Like all you'd have to do is like a Google search and you know that's not who she is, right? The man very nearly snorted with laughter at this attempt at pronouncing the word acceptable, but he managed to disguise his amusement by quickly turning away to call for a porter. Hoping to quickly escort this foul-mouthed young princess out of the lobby, the porter hurried over and reached for her luggage.
おい、勝手に触るな。それは仕事道具だ。
There was honestly no telling what would set this woman off. Everyone on the staff had been trained to treat the most troublesome customers with particular care, but right now they just wanted to get her into a room and out of their hair. I don't blame them. I don't need you to describe the room. Don't show me the emergency exits. Just tell me where they are. I'm Irisu Kiyoka. After agonizing 10 minutes that Irisu Kiyoka spent incessantly repeating her own name for some reason, the staff finally succeeded in showing her to her room. When you don't want someone asking you lots of questions, make a nuisance of yourself until they leave you alone. That was something Makina's mother had told her when she was very young. It's probably not a good life lesson there. Makina despised her mother intensely, but when it came to manipulating other people, she had to admit her advice had some merit. After striding into her suite, she immediately kicked out a clerk who was attempting to describe it to her, and then began consuming the small basket of fruit they left on top of the table as a welcoming gift. It wasn't as if she was particularly hungry. The room's central table had plenty of service area, and it was solid enough to support a person's weight without shaking. She intended to bring it over to the window and use it as a sniping platform. So she needed to clear off the objects sitting on top of it. And no, we can't just move the bowl of fruit to another table. When she'd reached out to remove them, however, her hands had reflexively brought the fruit to her mouth. Whoops, the apple fell right into my mouth. Clumsy me. Her cheeks bulging with pleasantly tart strawberries, Makina grabbed hold of the table, which was probably nearly as heavy as she was, and dragged it over to the window. After placing a rifle case on top of it, she retrieved her laptop from her bag. Her program, oh god, Shimohei-chan, which quickly calculated the optimal trajectory to a given target based on measurements received from satellites, had recently updated to version 6.04, which enabled it to connect directly to the Thanatos system. The distance to Makina's target would be about 900 meters. Her instructor, the legendary sniper Kazami Yuji, could probably have landed a shot like this while leaping through a girly mag. However, Makina had never fired a real rifle before, much less experienced actual combat. For her, a long-range shot like this was an unprecedented challenge. Snapping open the fasteners on her case, she spread it out flat on the table and began removing parts of her rifle from their Velcro restraints. First, she connected the lower receiver to the bipod assembly, allowing it to stand on its own. Next, she placed the semi-auto unit, which contained both the bolt and carrier mechanisms, onto the mounting rail, and covered it up with the other receiver, which she fixed in place with the mid-lock pin. All very simple. She didn't know how much faith she could put in a gun some old man from a racket shop had put together, but once it was fully assembled, she didn't notice any unpleasant rattling, and the trigger felt nice and tight against her finger. When she pulled out the cocking handle to test out the action, the spring in the impact bumper made a grinding sound that suggested it was a bit on the cheap side, but the level of resistance itself felt pretty much perfect.
しかし、この色だけはどうにかならなかったのかね。
Makina did like the color pink, and many of her personal possessions were some shade of it, but when it came to weapons, wasn't a flashy high visibility design basically a handicap? Kazami Yuji would probably have claimed you're better off with a rifle that looks like a toy, since intimidating weapons make it harder to relax and pull the trigger gently. But this really did look like a gun made for a moron. Then again, you might make the case that Makina was, in fact, a moron. She couldn't have denied it with any real confidence.
こんなんでちゃんとやれんのかな、私。
Inexperience gives rise to uncertainty. According to what Yuji had taught her, the maximum range at which you could rely on the power of your rifle and the sophistication of your ammunition was about 2,000 meters. Once you got past that point, your level of experience and dumb luck inevitably played a large role. Fortunately, she'd be firing at well below 2,000 meters, and she had top-notch equipment to compensate for her flaws as a sniper. But she wasn't naive enough to assume that meant everything would go smoothly. When it came to precision sniping at long range, your instincts and training were naturally very important, but you also needed to know exactly how to use the specific gear you'd been given. The slightest misalignment of a high magnification scope could throw off your shots. A simple spike in the temperature could cause a divergence of anywhere from just a few centimeters to several meters. Apart from the wind, you had to be aware of changes in the atmospheric pressure, the density of dust particles in the air, the rotation speed of your bullet, and the exact bearing it would follow. Even the combustion speed of the power in your bullet needed to be incorporated in your calculation. And no matter how thoroughly you inputted all of this information, it was still very rare for your bullets to land exactly where you anticipated they should. At a distance of 1,000 meters from your target, you'd typically be off by a few meters at first.
それを経験と勘で補うのがプロの仕事か。
But Makina wasn't a pro, and according to Kazami Yuji, that meant she had to rely on the power of her equipment. Settling her now assembled rifle on the table, she placed an optical scope equipped with an internal electronic dampener in position on top of it, and attached it via mount ring to the rail system, carefully adjusting the level of torque. Once it was fixed in place, she used the custom jig the old geezer from the racket store had given her to verify that she'd attached it at the correct angle and position. This would guarantee it performed just as he'd intended it.
用意された弾丸は6発。
It was tempting to complain about how stingy the Nanas had been, but that wouldn't have been remotely fair. Every one of these cartridges was essentially handmade. Both the rapid combustion powder and the hard primer inside them had been specifically formulated based on the anticipated range. The bullets themselves had been polished, then blasted with 5 tungsten disulfide particles, forming a special coating that would be fused to the surface of the projectile by heat generated when they were fired. What's more, the old man had actually cut subtle grooves into them that aligned perfectly within the rifling of the barrel. And these would supposedly generate additional propulsive power from the very air the bullets would be cutting through in flight. In short, every single one of these rounds was a tiny, lethal work of art. The written instructions the old man had handed her strongly emphasized that she wasn't to touch the bullets with her bare hands, and every one of them had been packed in an individual plastic bag filled with inert gas in order to prevent oxidation.
鉄砲屋もいろんなことを考えつくもんなのよさ。
Man, all this stuff just to kill your enemy. Seems like a waste in the end, you know, in the grand scheme of things.
これで当たんなかったら私がヘボってことになっちゃうか。
Rather than racking her brains over the task at hand, she would have preferred to fire off a few shots to get a feel for the gun, but that obviously wasn't an option. She had no choice but to wait until the last possible moment to test fire and zero her rifle. With the weapon now fully assembled, she fixed it in position on the bipod. She'd left the bullets sealed away in their airtight packages. She wasn't planning on loading them into a magazine anyway. Why risk contact between the rim of a chamber and the tip of the rounds? This thing wasn't a real semi-automatic. Might as well load every round manually.
さて、んじゃ、ちょっくら出かけてくっかね。
For now, she wanted to focus on the tasks at hand. All that was left was an inspection of the target area and then the installation of her monitoring equipment. Opening up her backpack, she packed in a few wind gauges which would beam their data to her via satellite, then added an old-fashioned analog tool, a roll of plastic packing rope. There were 2 potential lines of fire to account for, and it wasn't practical to cover both with nothing but expensive digital devices. She decided to work around that by leaving lengths of rope tied up at the halfway points between her gauges. That way, she could at least look through her scope to get a visual sense of the way the wind was moving. Once everything was in place, she'd spend the rest of the afternoon leisurely riding her bike around into target areas. Actually moving around was given area gives you a very different feel for it than peering at it through a scope of your rifle, and that difference in perception can seriously affect your accuracy. Makina had learned that much while simulating ultra-long-range precision sniping with her air rifle under the instruction of Kazami and Yuji. When you wanted to hit a target no bigger than a speck even when observed through a high magnification lens, this sort of simple, scrupulous preparation was the single most crucial factor in ensuring your success. Single most crucial. Back in the day, motor vehicles came equipped with a warning system that would play a sound when the driver exceeded a set speed. Sometimes this would be a tinny electronic beep or a rhythmical chime. And a few even tinkled cheerfully at you, like the bell carried by a Buddhist pilgrim. Those alarms are mostly a thing of the past. The car Mane was presently driving, however, had an organic warning system, one that produced rather less pleasant sounds. Its name? The Matsushima Speed Alarm System. This was an extremely sensitive system, prone to activating at the drop of a hat. For example, say the car in front of you turned at an intersection. Simply pushing down the accelerator to close the open space on the road would be enough to trigger the alarm. No matter if you were merely speeding enough to keep pace with the rest of the traffic, you'd still be treated to a nauseating course of... The only way for Mane to avoid this was to position her vehicle with the utmost care, avoiding any sudden movements or shifts in momentum. It was, to be perfectly honest, a real pain in the butt.
まあね、一度でも人の運転する車でひどい目に遭うとそうなるのはわかるし、その原因を作ったのは私なんだけどさ。この車なら荷台から落ちることもないんだし、こうして普通に運転しててもケポケポしちゃうのはどうにかならないかな。無理。なんかこう頭で分かってても体が逃げ出そうとするのよ。つうかさ、あの荷台から落ちた時だって他の荷物は落ちなかったのに、なんであんただけ落ちたの？わかんない。荷台の上に立ってたからかも。前を見てたらふっと気が抜けたっていうか。ああ、なんかわかる気がする。
She'd probably got drunk on the speed. Doesn't really happen when you're inside a car, but if you're spent too long turning down the highway on a motorcycle or something, it can do funny things to your brain. When you move at a high speed for an extended period of time, the road ahead starts to grow strangely vivid, and it almost feels like the world around you is frozen in place. I've heard of that. It might sound ridiculous, but Amani had personally experienced a powerful urge to step off her fast-moving motorcycle onto the road.
なんだろう、子供が回ってる扇風機に指を突っ込みたくなるような感覚？そういうの何現象っていうのかな？
Yeah, it's called stupidity. Very popular.
知らないわよ。とにかく安全運転でお願い。
The best way to prevent car sickness is usually to look in the same direction as the driver, allowing your body to anticipate the movements of the car. But in Michiru's case, it just didn't seem to be doing much good whatsoever. Amani didn't have much choice but to move slowly and carefully, trying to minimize any kind of shaking motion. Delicately manipulating the brake and throttle, she tried to keep the car's weight evenly distributed across all 4 of its tires, pretending that she was winding her way up an icy mountain road covered in salt. The drive took a bit longer than it otherwise would have, but eventually, Higashi Nagasaki Station came into view. That was where she'd be dropping off Michiru.
もうすぐ着くよ。っていうか、あんた一人で大丈夫なの？
何が？
何がって、あんたこれからユージの会社の人に会ってユージの荷物を受け取ってくるんだよ。
What if they start asking questions?
よく知りもしない相手だし、一人で怖くないの？
まあ全く不安がないわけじゃないけど、よく知らない人と取引するのにはもういい加減慣れたわよ。
Maybe that's why the Fanatas had her do all that, so that she'd be comfortable around random strangers for business deals.
少なくとも日本語は通じる相手だろうし。
Oh no, those guys are speaking Japanese pretty well.
あんたってさ、なんかそういうとこすごいよね。この前の牛連れたおばちゃんとかさ、知らない人に平気で声かけるし。
Forgot about that.
私はね、嫌われる前に嫌われるようなツンデレはしないのよ。
I have to hate them before they hate me.
相手より先に嫌うには先制攻撃よ。わかる？
Interesting words to live by.
全然わかんないけど、なんだか強気だなとは思う。
つまりそういうことよ。
ごめん、本気でわかんない。あんたってさ、自分の頭の中で出た結論を人に伝えるの本当にへったくそだよね。
うっさいわね。だからうまくいくんだってタナトスさんは言ってたんだからね。
まあわかるけどさ。
Taken to a certain extreme, stupidity can become charming. I know the way you'd find a dim-witted pet adorable. Of course, the whole idea of pets was a uniquely human concept, wasn't it? Perhaps there was something in the genes handed down from the days when our ancestors lived in trees and quietly compelled us to protect creatures like Matsushima Michiru. Pondering these matters quietly, Amane watched as her friend climbed out of her car, bid her a cheerful goodbye, and waddled off bow-legged down the street.
さて、それじゃあ私も車受け取りに行ってくるか。
Retrieving the map she made herself last night, Amane tossed it onto the passenger seat Michiru had been occupying, then glanced over at it. Her new vehicle was waiting in the parking garage of a shopping center in Itsubashi. She knew the place. It had a large, popular movie theater inside. In the period just after the disaster, when every moment she spent in school had been pure torture, she'd once skipped a day and watched a movie there. Fortunately enough, she was already quite tall by then, so she didn't really look like a truant student in her everyday clothes. What was the movie I saw again? The title wasn't coming to mind. She seemed to remember it was a Western film starring some famous actor in the role of a street racer. At first she hadn't even been planning to see the movie. She'd just gotten on a train, then let it carry her along. And after a bit of aimless wandering, she'd happened to find herself in front of a theater. There wasn't anything she particularly wanted to see, but after heading inside to kill some time, she soon found herself buying a ticket for a car movie anyway. Somehow or other, automobiles always seem to find a way into her life. I wonder what this new car is going to be like. I want a Lamborghini. After they rescued Yuji, it would need to carry him, Amane, Michiru, Makina, and Sashi. So not a Lamborghini. They needed space for 5 people. Obviously this meant it wouldn't be a 2-seater sports car. Maybe some big truck. From what Fanatas had said, they were dealing with armed soldiers, and there was a possibility they'd come under attack. Maybe it would be like a thick, sturdy vehicle? And then again, she described it as lightweight. Clunky hunk of armor on wheels didn't seem particularly likely. Fanatas claimed to have taken her preferences into account, but who knew what that even meant? In any case, once Amane switched over to the new vehicle, she'd have to say goodbye to the lovely Cross 4 she was currently driving. That was a bit of a bummer. They hadn't been together very long, but this car had served her well. It was a pity she didn't have time to give him a courtesy run through the car wash. Sorry about that. Thanks for everything. Tapping her fingers fondly on the steering wheel, Amane made sure to express her gratitude as well as her regrets. Not long after passing the local train station, the shopping center came into view. Approaching the parking garage, Amane poked her car's nose up to the gate, rolled down her window, and grabbed a ticket from the machine. Once inside, she guided the Cross 4 up to the spiraling slope, ignoring the grinding of the mechanical Elist. And after reaching the 5th level, she pulled in neatly to the first available space. All she had to do was leave it here with the key in the ignition. Someone had been hired to pick it up and take it back to the rental company. Well, it felt a bit awkward to leave the car just sitting there unlocked. Her top priority at the moment was finding the parking spot named number 12. Presumably, the new car had also been left unlocked for her. She was a bit nervous someone might have stolen it. The spot Amane had parked in was 28. After orienting herself, she headed toward the lower numbers. As she walked past spots 25 and 24, the Fanato's phone in her pocket suddenly began to vibrate.
Nani kore?
When Amane retrieved the phone from her pocket, she found a message reading registered vehicle within 20 meters on the screen, with a button below it marked identify.
Osuno?
Does the alarm go off or something? Couldn't hurt to give it a try, right? When she tapped the button, something nearby let out a cutesy little peep-peep. Looking in the direction of the sound, she noticed a vehicle about 20 meters away that was flashing its hazard lights to inform her of its location.
そう。特捜車ってまさかこれ?
Fanatos had described it as a light, fast, and easy to drive. To be sure, this met all those criteria. Nonetheless, the vehicle sitting demurely in spot number 12 was basically the last thing Amane had expected to find there. What's so special about this thing? Walking up to her new ride, Amane began a more thorough inspection. First, she circled all around it and observed it from multiple angles. After a bit of prodding, tapping, and pushing at the frame, she squatted down to get a better look at the tires. At the very least, this wasn't a standard model. That much was clear enough, but she couldn't help feeling more than a little let down. In fact, her current emotions were perhaps best expressed by the phrase, "What the heck, man?" Still, there wasn't much point in complaining. No matter what kind of car she was given, Amane's job was to drive it according to her orders. Sliding into the driver's seat, she breathed in a lungful of new car smell and brought her hands to the wheel. For some reason, it felt as comfortable as slipping her feet into a familiar pair of shoes. With the twist of the key already sitting in the ignition, she tried starting the car. After a momentary pause, it rumbled to life. From the sound of things, it had a high-compression engine. The grumbling, grouchy sound it emitted while idling was a bit like the growl of a lion. To Amane's ears, it suggested a certain fierceness. She didn't trust aftermarket temperature gauges, but they were good enough for rough estimates. Watching as the needle rose slowly up towards 65 degrees, she gently shifted into first gear and released the clutch. There was more torque in the low gear than she'd expected. They might have increased the engine's displacement. As she slowly eased the car forward, all the displeasure she felt only moments ago melted away in an instant. And in its place, excitement bubbled up irrepressibly within her. It was immediately obvious this really was a special vehicle. Struggling with the temptation to find some place where she could play around with her shiny new toy, Amane turned the wheel and set off toward her rendezvous with Michiru. Now then, as for Kamini Sashi. Dressed as always in the impeccably neat-made uniform, she was cheerfully dragging a cart that held an enormous travel bag up and down the aisles of a hardware store. At a glance, one might have assumed that she was a servant from some mansion who'd been given leave and was now buying the things she needed for her journey back home. But the items she was purchasing were far too peculiar. Butane gas for use with camp stoves, large quantities of aluminum foil, boxes of bath salts, aluminum plumbing pipes. She's a meth dealer. Bags of chemical fertilizer from the gardening department, 3 large plastic boxes. The list went on and on. After grabbing items after item off the shelf seemingly at random, she finished up seizing the store's pharmacy's entire supply of bandages and disinfectant, and also Sudafed.
あれもこれも買ったし、なんだろう、まだ何か足りないような気がする。
With preparations of this sort, it always felt like something was missing, no matter how much you bought. But if you went overboard, transporting and storing your gear would become a major issue. The key was identifying the things you absolutely needed, then packing them as compactly as possible, then leaving out anything you could easily obtain on site or replace with a substitute of some kind. Even medical supplies were no exception. While it might sound extreme, as long as you had painkillers for internal injuries and disinfectant for external wounds, you could figure out the rest as you went. After carefully reviewing everything she bought at the hardware store, Sachi proceeded to divide the supplies among her 3 plastic boxes. The plan was to create 3 emergency bug-out boxes to be placed in various locations. She'd leave one of them among the bushes in a small park just across the road. Once the rest of her gear was hidden along their anticipated escape routes, Sachi herself would be able to travel rather lightly. And should she ever need to resupply, she could do so quickly and easily by retrieving her her caches from their hiding spots. This was the Project Chipmunks to which Thanatos had referred. The boxes themselves didn't take long to pack. All she had to do now was hide them in various crucial locations. In stage one of the plan would be complete. First up was the little park. There was a number of tiny green spaces like this one in the neighborhood, often serving no apparent purpose. Many of them actually contained storage sheds full of firefighting gear or emergency equipment for use in a disaster, and some had even hidden entrances to underground facilities of some sort. But for the most part, they weren't designed as recreational spaces for children or families. That meant the box she left here almost certainly wouldn't be discovered unless some degenerate who enjoyed skulking around in the bushes, Michiru, happened to stumble across it. Of the remaining boxes, she'd leave one of the coin-operating lockers of a public baseball stadium near her anticipated escape route, then pack the other in a cardboard box and have a luggage shipping service send it to a conveniently located office. That made 2 standard resupply caches she could easily retrieve herself, and 1 backup cache with her logistics in the hands of a shipping company. She'd have 3 different cards she could play, depending on how the situation developed. Preparing for the unforeseen was a task that involved dwelling endlessly on worst-case scenarios. Having completed her initial preparation, Sachi had paused briefly to consider her next move, and in that moment a sudden wave of anxiety and fear had washed over her. Inevitably, her mind had returned to the most basic of questions. Were they really going to pull this off? Was this really going to work? It wasn't that she had any complaints regarding Project Chipmunk. She was second-guessing her own choices, asking herself if enlisting in this war had been the correct decision. It may not have been the correct decision, but I feel it was the right decision. Her faith in this mission was all she had to stand on, but as she labored away alone, her faith had begun to tremble beneath her feet. She had to carry out her duties all alone. That solitude gave rise to fear, but she knew what to do. Kamini Sachi knew exactly what to do. When you're about to fall apart, go ahead and eat your lunch. Those were the words of Suamane, warrant officer, first class, who provisioned all of the Mahama Women's Corps meals. She had spoken to them this morning while handing Sachi her box lunch. When your heart falters, take a moment to nourish your body. While you fill your empty belly, think of the comrades you've shared meals with. Remember the faces you've seen around your table. As she stood anxiously hugging the shoulders of her maid uniform, Sachi's gaze had found its way to the fighter pilot lunch that Amane had packed for her. Reaching out to the box, Sachi retrieved a long sushi roll and took a big bite. Within moments, she could feel the anxiety in her heart begin to melt away. When she closed her eyes, she could see her friends gathered around the dinner table. The image was vivid and clear. What sort of expressions did they have on their faces? Oh, they were smiling. They're happy. Every last one of them. It was the very picture of a harmonious family. This was why Sachi had chosen to fight. She'd do anything for these people, for the chance to bask in this warmth again. The flavor of cucumber, dried gourd, tuna and mayonnaise, natto, and salmon spread slowly across her tongue. It was the familiar taste of Warrant Officer Sue's cooking. She could say she's a sous chef. Making quick work of the sushi, Sachi washed it all down with their pleasant fizzy cider. By the time she finished, not even the slightest tinge of fear remained in her heart. So long as you can remember the smiles of your comrades, you can keep fighting. With that conviction burning in her breast, Sachi marched off toward her post with a spring in her step. Alrighty, well I think I'm going to end the video off here because it's running a little longer than I wanted it to. So we're going to finish up the preparations Friday. And I will see you then. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe for more Eden of Grisaia. Take care, guys.